out or wherever you are recording. All right, welcome everybody to the delayed start of this Talk to the Animals call, and I want to welcome everybody from all over the world. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm so happy to be here tonight with Tanya. Tanya is my host tonight, and she is going to ask me some questions and give some information. And sorry, Tanya, that I started. You as the host, of course, should have started the meeting, but hey, we're doing everything backwards tonight. How about that?
I'm totally cool with that, Susie. So I'm happy to be here with you. And we too have been chatting when we met the last time in Rome about Talk to the Animals and the Talk to the Animals curriculum. And Susie is doing the very first Talk to the Animals advanced class. And I wanted to ask Susie some things because every time I asked her some question, some brilliant shit came out of her mouth. So what is actually possible with animals? And we are here to look into creating greater possibilities with animals. So Susie, maybe you can let us know a little bit what this advanced class is all about?
Yeah. So Talk to the Animals has been a program in Access Consciousness for quite a while. It is a specialty class that actually came from Gary Douglas originally many years ago, when he realized that the tools of Access Consciousness also work on animals. He literally, the first person that asked him, "Can you do this on my horse?" Gary answered by the energy and he said, "Yes." And then he said, "I can?" Like, he actually did not know that the tools would work on animals as well. And when he became aware of that, he realized, wow, animals can be facilitated with these tools just as much as people can, if not even in an easier and greater way, because animals do not have to analyze their shit, like Tanya was just saying, brilliant shit or not. Animals do not have to analyze it at all. They're just willing to let go of their limitations. If they see that it's going to create greater, they're just like, boom, done, goodbye. So the tools can be very dynamic for them. And so I have been facilitating together with appraoch and a few other people around the world. We've been facilitating these Talk to the Animals beginners classes, so to speak. It's called Start the Conversation. So we are just looking at, using the access tools, which are very different from a lot of the other animal communication tools that are out there, to really start a conversation with animals, to be willing to receive from animals, and to have a different way of communicating. Now, this is the very first time that I am facilitating the advanced class. It's never been facilitated before. I am very excited. And so the question always is, well, what's the difference? Like, why do I need an advanced class? What's going on? And so for me personally, the advanced class gets you out of the emotional part of animal communication. For me, part of what makes this really different from a lot of other ways of communicating with animals is that the emotions that we have, especially around animals, can really mislead us often into judgments that are not there. So for example, every time when I ask this question, and a lot of times people go, yes, when I ask it, and still, if you just follow the energy here and you do not answer with your logical mind, but you really just go with the energy, if I say to you now, do animals have jealousy? What do you get? So it is really interesting because, a lot of people would say, well, my animal is jealous. Like, I know it because they jump on the bed. They don't let my boyfriend close to me. If I pet my other dog, the one comes over and pushes that one away, all this kind of stuff. And so we would call that jealousy. But the thing is, if we are labeling or defining anything, we then also limit it to that. And so if you say my animal is jealous, guess what? Now your animal has to try and be that energy as closely as possible. But if your animal actually isn't jealous, but it is something else, maybe something we don't have the words for, maybe something we don't have the vocabulary for, but it is in truth something different, then you will never really be able to also get it or change it. So in this advanced class, we're going to really look more at all of those places where we are having our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions interfere with what the animals are truly communicating.
Wow. Wow, that's really, really cool, Susie. And I've never heard you articulating that so clearly and amazingly. So I'm getting even more excited about the whole new curriculum of the Talk to the Entity Advanced class. And what
Animals, entities. I know we have those two, Shannon O'Hara, and I know you are Talk to the Entities facilitator, so I get it. This is actually something that occurs a lot. People say, talk to the entities, oh, wait a minute, what? But really, truly, it's different, and it's not so different. Because also, you know, people sometimes say, well, I don't have an animal. Why should I come to this class?
And the fun part is I'm bugging the two of you, Shannon and you, to do a class together, talk to the entity animals or something like that. I think that would be really a cool part. And while I was saying, I think it was a Freudian thing. So in the Talk to the Entity advanced class, it's a lot about receiving. So when we're talking about greater possibilities with animals, what can we receive from animals? And is that also a part of the advanced play with Susie and the Talk to the Entities, animals?
Well, we start in the beginning class also with the receiving quite dynamically, just because, you know, part of being willing to receive communication from animals is receiving, because animals, of course, do not speak our language in terms of they don't speak Portuguese, they don't speak English, they don't speak French, they don't speak German, but they speak energy, and energy is the underlying language of all, basically of all. Like, so energy is also what helps us being able to translate from one language into another, because we can energetically perceive what matches what we are trying to translate. So receiving is a huge part of it altogether. You know, without receiving, there isn't much going on in that sense, because you have to be willing to receive something. If you're not willing to receive anything, it's going to be difficult to communicate altogether. You might have noticed that too. If you're talking to a person, if they're not willing to receive what you have to say or who you are, then it's not going to really work. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But of course, you know, receiving is a never-ending topic, what I have noticed at least. So you can never have enough of it, and you can never have enough awareness around that. And so for me, yes, receiving more, of course, is always part of the deal.
Wow, that is so cool. And creating greater possibilities with animals. So there are the 4 building blocks basically of creation, which is question, choice, possibility, and contribution. And is the class also a little bit about contribution?
That's an awesome question. We will be going to different places that have animals throughout the class. So I won't rattle off the list because it's not so relevant in that sense, but we're going to be able to have and meet a few different animals in this journey. And what I am actually really looking for is to meet animals that aren't necessarily attached to a person, in that sense that people are not coming to class with their pet, but we are going into different situations, and we're going to practice with animals of all kinds, really. And with that, the interesting part is when we're willing to listen to animals and receive them and to really perceive them in a different way, it is always a two-way street, because gifting and receiving is simultaneously. And so if you have that energy of communicating with an animal, the animal will contribute to you. And that is also why it really doesn't matter if you do or don't have an animal in your life, because it's not about necessarily your pets in this class, although it can be, but it's really more about receiving truly what the animals in this world can share with us and how they would like us to also integrate them into our life and living in a different way. And and what is truly possible in this reality and beyond this reality with animals. And there's so many things that are going on this planet right now that aren't working, and especially also around animals. I mean, you look around and there is stuff going on everywhere with people as well, but also with animals. And we all know that, we all have our stories of, should I eat meat? Shouldn't I eat meat? What's the deal with that whole situation, for example, and how we treat animals on the planet, how many animals we are basically slaughtering on a daily basis, etc., etc., etc. So we have so many things that are going on a daily basis with that this whole class could be just about that. But it's going to touch into that quite a bit. And we're really going to ask the animals how they would like to create a different possibility and a greater possibility in the future. Like, what can the animals actually teach us? What is truly possible with animals in this regard? So that's what it is that I would like to explore.
Wow. And a lot of people don't know that, but I have witnessed Susie diving deeper into different classes. So I kind of hosted you when you did your first SE Horse Essence class. And I hosted you with your very first, I think, SE Extravaganza. And I hosted you with your first SE Body Essence. And it was always interesting because you're always following the energy so brilliantly, and no one knows what exactly shows up front. And as we all know who have done several access classes, you never know what will happen in a class. And it was always such a pleasure to dive in and just follow the energy with you. And now we have co-facilitators called animals of these classes. So I'm getting more and more excited as it comes up. And the question is, what is required to be a part of that advanced animal adventure, Susie?
Yeah, not a whole lot, to be honest. So you basically have to have taken the start the conversation class, and there is no time limit. So if you have taken it at any time with any of the facilitators, you are good to go. Plus, you need a COP. So the choice of possibilities and access is one other prerequisite. Why? Just because we would like to dive in a little bit deeper, and access consciousness really just gives you the tools to be out of judgment more, and you have more tools available to not function from judgment, from conclusion. And so with that, it's just a possibility to really get more into depth on all of this. And also one thing I want to say is, in the advanced class, we are actually going to meet some pet owners with their pets, where you do get the possibility to facilitate somebody with their pet. So you can practice that in the class, and we will talk about that afterwards quite extensively, just also to give you really a sense of like, what is it like to facilitate? And some of you may already be animal communicators, and you may already be doing this. And so I would like to encourage you also to just have a look, is this class going to be a contribution to your business? So you may get some tools that you don't have yet, and But please, this is not about you have to come. It's more like, hey, look at your future, look at what this might create for you, and if this is light and if it's something that is a contribution, by all means. So it's not that we are going to go by basically the lowest common denominator. We're just gonna go, and wherever this takes us, and yeah, so just check it out for yourself.
And Susie, is there a time limit on the COP? Does it have to be a recent one or any COP?
I would say recent, but maybe within the last 18 months to maybe 2 years or so. I just don't want it to be 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So if and talk to me if that's an issue and we can have a look at it. But I would say 2 years, I would say would be good.
Cool. Yay! Awesome. And is there anything people can do with that advanced class? So does it allow them to facilitate something or?
Yeah, so we have a little bit of a program going at the moment. And in order to become a Talk to the Animals facilitator, you have to be a Access Consciousness certified facilitator. That is one of the prerequisites. So you have to be an Access CF, that's what we call them. And the reason for that is Gary's point of view is that animals are great and easy to facilitate. Their owners are crazy. So you have to have the tools to facilitate the crazy owners. The animals are easy. So if you were to just go out and facilitate animals, no problem. You can read the Talk to the Animals book and do that, by the way. It's really, lots of people do it and it's very easy. The owners, little trickier sometimes. And it's good to have some tools under your belt so you can facilitate them. So that's one prerequisite. And then the advanced class is one prerequisite. And also I did a Talk to the Animals specialty series that is a quite extensive program that I have done that basically goes from, inviting an animal to your home, to having your animal in the home, to the process of letting go of them, letting them die, etc., etc. And you have to basically also listen to that, and I will quiz you on it. So so you have to listen to it. Then you start doing some intro classes, and I will ask you to send me the audio, and I will listen to them. And then once you have done all of that, then you can become a Talk to the Animals facilitator. So that's how that process goes. So if that is interesting to you, again, this is one of the places in Access Consciousness where we can play in a different way. But one of the things is, if you are coming to the class, and even before that, if you do the introduction class, the start the conversation, you are allowed and able to use basically you are a Talk to the Animals practitioner, and you can facilitate people with their animals. So you are allowed to do that and use that name. You just cannot do intro classes, or you cannot do classes, but you can facilitate one-on-one sessions. So that's a possibility.
And just to get it clear, so once a person is a CF and has done the advanced class, they can start facilitating intros.
They have to talk to me first, and we have to kind of get that specialty series going, and then okay. Yes, we can.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. So this is basically the major questions I have had. Maybe some people who are here live have questions now, so maybe we should ask them. Does anybody have a question about the advanced class? I don't get that, but maybe anybody has a question they brought to ask Susie about the animal.
Hey, Susie, someone from Brazil is asking, when is the advanced class?
That's a good question.
Tanya, when is the advanced class?
When is the advanced class? So
it's
basically,
in November.
For all of you who do not have the prereqs to have the start the conversation class. It is before the advanced class starts, and that talk to the entity.
Animals.
The animals. I'm so brainwashed by Shannon. I'm sorry. And it is so funny because when I started talk to the entity, I was always saying talk to the animals. So it's so see, I think it's a clear sign. You have to do the class combined with Shannon. So the talk to the animals beginning class is starting on November 15th, and it goes through 16th and 17th. And after that, we start on November 18th to 20th, the advanced class. And both classes are in Bonn, and Bonn is the former capital of Germany. And the closest airport to get there is basically Cologne-Bonn Airport. And it's also easy to just fly into Frankfurt and take a train. It's, I think, 45 minutes or something, and then you are in Bonn. And we picked a venue who is really close to a pretty new hotel, and it's easy to stay there. So if you guys have any questions about the organization and stuff like that, please contact either myself or Sonia, who is here also, who is hosting that class, or Cécile from France. Yeah,
Yes.
basically.
And just also for your information, so we have, and the online class does sound, oh my God, the online class counts as a talk to the animals. So if you took talk to the animals, start the conversation online, basically as a telecall, that is also the same class that we're doing live in terms of the curriculum. So it's just a different, basically, you know, a different venue, but it's still the same curriculum. So it does count if you've taken that class at any time. And the class that I'm doing in Bonn right before the advanced class will be in German, because I happen to speak that language fairly all right. So I can do that. And it will be translated into English. If you are coming and you would like to have it in English, we will have that available to you. And we also have the possibility to even translate that into French, because we have some translators that can translate me straight from German into French. And then for the advanced class, if you let us know soon, if you would like to come and you would like it translated, I will be speaking English in that class. So it will be translated to German and French for sure. But if you would like us to also translate into another language like Portuguese, please let us know so we can get that organized and we can make sure it's available. I know it's not that far from now, and we have to sort of organize it to make sure. So, and unfortunately, it's not going to be online, because we are going to be visiting different places where we're going to play with the animals there and also with animals and their owners. So I am so sorry, but this particular advanced class will not be online, at least not for this time. Let's basically play with this energy first and see how it goes. And then we can see for next time if it could also be an online class. For right now, I don't want to mix too much, because it's just going to create a lot of other energies that are out there, and I would like to just really play with you in person. So if you'd like to really come to this class, please make your way to Bonn. It's a cool city, actually. So why not visit Germany for a change?
And on all of America, all of you guys are from America who only know Turkey. At that time, we already have Christmas goose, which is a very traditional food, and everyone loves it. So for those of you who eat animals, that might be a really delicious adventure too. And May is asking if we could translate it in Portuguese. Susie, what is required that we get it translated in Portuguese?
Yeah, if you register for the class and you let us know that you would like it in your language, then we will start the process. But please, please, please register, and please let us know that you are coming, either by paying a deposit or showing us your hotel or flight information or something. And then we know you actually mean it. You didn't just say you're coming. So we can then start to ask some of our translators, because of course they have to be available and they have to be ready to come along for the ride. So they would have to be there in person too. So maybe you can pay Norma to fly over there. I don't know. Maybe she's, you know, you never know. Norma might come over. Yes, she says. Thumbs up. Okay.
Awesome. So any questions from you guys about the class, or did you bring any questions to this Zoom from your side? The silence of the lambs.
Hey, Tanya.
Yeah.
Tanya and Susie, could you please repeat to us about the sessions that you can offer as a practitioner? Is that after the advanced class or after the starting the conversation?
No, so the sessions that you can give is actually after the beginning class. So the start the conversation, talk to the animals call gives you the possibility to do private sessions, and you can call yourself a talk to the animals practitioner. And you do not have to be an Access Consciousness certified facilitator to do that, because it is a little bit different. If you're doing one-on-one work, you know, it's basically one-on-one work. You're not going to have to facilitate the energies of all these different people and their insanity around their pets. You are just one-on-one. And please, by all means, you know, like I said before, if you don't require the title of Talk to the Animals practitioner, I personally know some people that have taken the Talk to the Animals book and have literally gone out and helped somebody with their animal by opening the book and just reading the page that was open and going, oh, apparently this is what I have to facilitate. So, you know, there are other possibilities here too. So it's not that you have to take these classes even to do this. It's really just up to you and what it is that you would like to create with this, and what is really the contribution to the future that you know is possible.
Wow. And Susie, I just brought one clearing I would like, or a question I would like to pop in. And this has been infected by Mr. Dr. Danger at the Maestro class. And it's really like, what is actually possible with animals that we don't think it's possible? That if we would allow the possibilities, would totally actualize a different reality with animals. And really be in that question and look what is unfolding. And I'm really totally excited now, and even more that since the Brazilians might come, and they are always fun to play with. And what else is possible with animals we haven't considered?
It's so true. I was in Israel, and Dane had a COP in Israel, and we had quite a few Brazilians there. And it was impossible for the Israeli people to have any problems. They couldn't hold on to them because the Brazilians are just too much fun.
They are so bad. Oh, so cool. So what else is possible? Yeah, and Noah is confirming, true story. So cool. Yes, Noah, and Noah, it would be cool if you guys would come too. So it's not only that the Brazilians are very warmly welcome here.
So you won't be too happy altogether.
Yeah. And the cool part is, and the area Cologne Bonn is a little bit the crazy area of Germany, because they kind of like have a fifth season, which just starts 3 days before the first class starts. It's the carnival season, and everybody gets dressed up and is partying. So it's really interesting. You might
the
have
Brazilians should know about this.
I don't think they celebrate it as long as we do. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
And just for a fun fact, I do not understand the Germans in that region whatsoever when they speak their dialect. So, which is also fun because I did grow up in Germany. I do speak German. I was making a little fun earlier. I do speak German, but not that Kölsch dialect, forget about it. So, you know, and Tanya even taught Andrew a few sentences, and I'm like, what are you saying? I really don't have a clue what you're talking about. So it's a very different dialect.
It's the cutest thing when he says that. So if he would use that here in Cologne, he could get any girl.
Well,
but he's not coming. So, yeah. It doesn't make sense if he repeats what I taught him in the castle, because no one really gets it. So cool. Awesome. So anything else, guys, from your side? Any other questions? May, you unmuted yourself. Do you have a question? Doesn't look like. So, Susie, any other ideas from your side?
Well, for me, again, it's just this is a very dear topic to me. I really my whole life, animals have been involved in a way, and the earth. It's been, when I grew up, I had the point of view that we should all kill ourselves so that the earth and the animals could live on the planet without us. That was my point of view. And, you know, gratefully, I got introduced to Access, and I have a little bit of a different point of view now. And still, what is really possible? What is the possibility in the future that we can truly create with animals? And not basically us separate from nature or separate from the earth, but really truly together. Like, what is possible together, you know? And without points of views, without conclusions, without all these preconceived ideas that have been around, but truly a different reality. And what would that look like for you? And what are the animals inviting us to? And what is truly possible? So to me, this is always an exploration, and I'm always astounded when I hear something from an animal that really blows my mind, that I didn't expect to hear. And I go, whoa, this is so different. This is so interesting. If we were willing to truly embrace that and live our lives in that way together with the animals, then what can we create here on this planet that is really never been here before, and that's never been seen here before? And would that also influence the way that we are with each other? So that is what I would like to add.
Wow, so cool. And Sabine has written in the chat, Susie, about the Talk to the Animal book, if it's available in German soon. Any update on that one?
Not yet. I don't really have an update. I keep asking for it as well. And yeah, I wonder what's required for this book to finally get translated into German. I will ping again. Let me ping that again. What would it take? That would be wonderful.
And Kinga just wrote, how can I get your point of view? And I would say, just steal it. And Susie, it's really, I would really like to thank you big time. The energy and the space and the consciousness you opened up with what you were saying about the animals really gave me a sense that there is so much more possible that we have not even considered yet. And I'm really grateful having you as a kind of animal ambassador to really bring all these pieces and parts and pieces together and open up different doors. So thank you so much for that. And I'm totally looking forward having you here in Germany pretty soon. Yay!
Yay!
And whoever would like to join us and join the party.
Yay! Sounds good. And of course, Douglas is saying, let's create the advanced class in Brazil next year. Yeah, what would that take? What would that take? And yes, and I saw somewhere also Spanish, etc. Please, guys, if you would like this in your language, please let us know as fast as you can so that we can create it. Everything is possible, but it's good to have a little bit of a heads up so we can get the translators there. That's the bigger part, is to find the translators that are available and that can show up and really help out. But Again, German and French is confirmed, so those two languages are definitely going to be there. And everything else, let's see what's required to create it. And, you know, and also it is your commitment to show up, you know, that is also what's required, of course. Without that, yeah, just requesting it, you also have to be willing to then show up. That would be one of the requirements on your end. Cool. So yay. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. Thank you, Tanya, for hosting me. Thank you, Mai, for your doggy in the background. I love it. And thank you, Norma. Thank you, Cecile. Thank you, Nicole. Who am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting a translator here. But anyway, thank you all so much. I'm so super grateful, and for also pulling this together last minute, Norma. You're a rock star. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. And I am coming to Brazil, by the way, for the Talk to the Animals beginners class, Start the Conversation, very soon. I will be there right after the Costa Rica 7-day and right before Brendan's class in Curitiba. I will be in Sao Paulo. So you guys, if you want to have me for the beginners class, I will be there. So please check that out, and please come for that at least. And let's see what else we can create together with the world of animals around the world here.
And bring some extra luggage, then you can bring some Brazilians with you to Germany.
There you go. Good idea.
Thank you, Susie.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.